and we are here once again for the Rise Up Invitational, and we're into the second semifinals. This time it's Exsto, this time it's Twisted Vision, trying to punch their ticket to join Pixel in the grand finals of the Rise Up Invitational tomorrow. Cyberwaste, this should be epic.
It has every right to be, especially with all the players that we do have on offer. Twisted Vision were one of the front runners of the tournament, nipping at the heels of Pixel in the regular season. And Exto Gaming started being the team that has gone from strength to strength. In the opening week, didn't have the best of showings, but they have strived to go time and again to better themselves. And now they find themselves in the Final Four, and hopefully being a part of the final pair that plays tomorrow night, Pixel being one of them.
And I mean, that's almost a daunting thing sitting here in the second best of three. You already know that if you win this, you have a date with Pixel. And, you know, you want the comfort of hoping that Pixel got, like, it was a hard fought best of three. You want, like, the comfort of it being a really close series before. No, Pixel looked on fire. They looked fantastic. And that's daunting knowing that, yeah, no matter how well you play tonight, you still have a date with an absolute monster tomorrow.
Indeed, you've got a team with the hot hand. They're coming off of a huge, just running them out of town. Their opponents being Cascade in the previous set was 3-0. And speaking of maps, I will run you through them for this best of 5 set. So we do use the same map pool that we have been using for the regular season. So to open, we have Lijiang Tower being our opening control map. And then whoever loses gets to choose the next map. So we do have Watch Point Gibraltar and Rialto being our payload map. And then for Assault, we have Horizon Lunar Colony and the Temple of Anubis. And the fourth map, should we require it, will be either King's Row or Eichenwald. And should we go to a 5-map set, the next map will be Nepal. And should either of the regular maps be tied and we end up at 2-2 after 5 maps, we go to a 6th being Oasis.
And we do keep the usual system that we've had in place, Cyber Waste. We keep it so that if you lose map 1, you get to pick which of the 2 maps we go to map 2. Winner gets to pick the side, whether they're attacking or defending. We keep that. That is all the same for the series. But we have a minimum of 3 maps, the potential of going all the way to 6. And honestly, I'm hoping it goes 6 because these teams can put on a show.
Indeed, Twisted Vision being one of the front runners very early on. They have had a little bit of a shake-up. I'm seeing some names that I haven't seen either at all or in quite a while. And Exto Gaming have been a team that has been going from strength to strength, having a bit of a rough showing in the opening week, but have had been just basically putting everybody on notice and then slipping in at the final night of play. They ended up booking themselves a spot in the Final Four. So that would be one feather in their cap. And I think they even want to go further, picking off a huge front runner in Twisted Vision who have, well, aside from their match against Pixel, one of the other semi-finalists, they've been nigh on unstoppable.
And you know, as they always say, Cyber Waste, one wise man once said it for the first time. To be the best, you've got to beat the best. So that's what's on the cards for them. Pixel have undoubtedly been the best team that we've had all season. They've been phenomenal. They've punched their tickets to the grand final. And these 2 teams, they're up for the task. Which one of them are going to be up to the task? That's what we find out tonight. Do you have a favorite in this game? Is there a team that you like? Do you think it's Exto's game? Do you think it's Twisted Vision? What are your early predictions here?
Well, if we're going purely by metrics, Twisted Vision did have a better map record with a 20-7 map record compared to 15-14 on the side of Exto, but they did have a lot of fighting to do on the side of Exto. So basically, it's anybody's game, and if Exto have been sort of holding their cards close to their chest, they could throw a curveball right into the side of Twisted Vision, and it could end up being a long basically a log slog as to who will adapt first and who will get the upper hand in the stages throughout these maps.
And I have even got my cat sitting behind me staring intently at this one. He has completely ignored me all night, but he is even buckled in for this series, knowing that it's going to be something absolutely special between these two teams. And honestly, I think this is, of the two best of threes we had, or best of fives, I should say, of the two series we had tonight, if there was going to be the lower seed winning, this was the one I was going to have it. And I do think Exto have a very good chance to knock off what looked to be a very dominant Twisted Vision team in the regular season. But of course, in the playoffs, in a series, anything can happen. It's one night on any given Sunday. Any team can beat any other team. And well, it happens to be early Sunday morning for me here in Canada. I think it's Sunday evening for you guys. So we really are on potentially that given Sunday.
Yes, indeed. Way to tie it into correct time zones and everything like that. We are in the midst of the last day of the weekend, and we're going to be winding down with the potential belter of a set. And we'll run you through your lineups. On the side of Exto Gaming, we have Pliz, Thunder Kitty, Joyboy, Zabal. That's going to take me a while to get right. Addy and Nectar, and on the side of Twisted Vision, Dreamboat. Will you kindly run down the roster?
Absolutely. There's Nor and Aesthetic. We're going to be the supports. We've got Vero and Dio, who are the off and main tanks, respectively. And of course, Lex and Shiro round out the lineup on DPS. And there are a couple subs, I believe, for these teams as well that we may see them pull out, but that'll be a bridge that we cross if we get there. They may just feel confident as we head to the bright lights of the bigger city of Lijiang Tower. We're starting with the inside area, the nice little planetarium. I like it. It's always a good point. I'm excited to see us start out here, Cyber.
The planetarium. Trying to make a South Park reference. Nobody will understand that. But we are going to the control center to open, and it looks like the side of Twisted Vision. Twisted Vision will be in the blue, and Exto will be in the red. And it looks like we're going to the bleating 3-3 composition, which we all know and love on the side of Twisted Vision. Well, there's a reason why it gets a lot of mileage, because, well, it's been the most consistent. But with Ana coming back into the fray, it could lose a lot of its luster with the debuffs of Bionades and everything like that.
I'm trying to come up with a new name for it. I was calling it the Tom Brady one earlier tonight.
Wouldn't it be Aaron Rodgers now? Because apparently he's good again.
But Tom Brady's still the best. I'm thinking I might tie back to my roots and go with the Froyo tech. No one is there. If you're in chat and you understand that reference, you're my hero.
That's gonna fly over everybody, Dream.
Exactly. I'm calling it the Froyo comp. Just because I'm tired of people referring to goats and stuff. So
the Froyo is also cursed. That's bad. It looks like the side of Twisted Vision are actually moving up into the server room and going up top. This is something I've rarely seen. It could actually throw everybody off. And there goes the waterfall down onto the main point, where the side of Exto Gaming are looking to meet them. And the point unlocks, and we are in full-blown fight mode as both of the teams try to jostle for position. And they do it at an opportune time where a pause is forced. Nectar's dropped from the game, as a matter of fact.
Well, he asked if they were AFK as a joke, and now he is AFK himself. So it's funny how that works. But I will say it was smarter than to sit back there. As TLC once said, don't go chasing waterfalls. You don't want to go up there and greet them. They let them come down, and oh my god, apparently Lex is being deafened by the pause because that's as some games do that have a pause function. You have that that non-stop sound continuing through, and I'm not entirely sure what's right in his ear, but I do sympathize with the man.
Indeed, and thankfully you guys will be on a pause screen on your stream, but the observers and the commentators here not so much. I was actually spectating Dio, I think, and there's a sound of, I think it's one of the members charging or moving around. So it just sounded like a bunch of rocks talk falling down, like a tremor in Mortal Kombat, if you will. So it's been it could be worse, to be honest, but it could be a lot better. But that being said, we'll look at the lay of the land at the moment, and Twisted Vision, we're looking to just evacuate the members of Exto and take the point for themselves.
I was very caught up in the story that Lex was telling there, which I will like. I love Overwatch. I love casting Overwatch, and one of the huge reasons I do love it is I like that as a spectator you can get a little bit of interaction going through with some of the teams. It's refreshing in a pause like this where that thing's really happening. You can have a quick word back and forth to the players, and it's like it's the only game I've ever casted that's had that function, and it's a neat one. I like it. But I was gonna point out in the best of three we had earlier, Cyber Waste, when we almost had a pause, that we hadn't had a pause through that entire best of three, and we literally went, or sorry, I keep saying best of three. It was only 3 maps of a best of five. But in that series, we didn't have a pause. I was really hoping we were gonna go the entire night without a pause. But with Australian internet, you can only go so long, right?
Well, yeah, you can only survive so long on tin cans and string, and maybe it's his rig that might have given up the ghost. And parts are extremely expensive in Australia, so that could be a bit of a downfall there as well. And I definitely feel their pain. I can tell you that much. So a little bit of an elongated pause, and the sound that is in my ear. And Nectar's back into the server, and now they will have to select their hero. But this brings up quite the conundrum for Exto. They will be a person down on the point. They may have to basically elect to let the lower HP members either die or cause to retreat, because Thunder Kitty is extremely low, Joyboy is down to half health, and Eddie looks to be at about 75 to 80 HP. So definitely looking like a bit of a losing fight for Exto, and depending on how things go, they may elect to just give up the point and rethink their attack. And just as I say it, they end up losing Nectar again. So we're going to be seeing a little bit more pause time.
Well, there is a few things that will be needed after this pause. We'll need an ear doctor or something to make sure that Lex hasn't completely lost his hearing, and we can maybe check and see if Nectar has a pulse. It was poor guy. Like you really feel for him. He finally makes it back in, and well, all of a sudden he's just gone.
It really is a bummer, especially when you're on such a monumental stage for, at least to my knowledge, quite a new team in terms of not only the org but the people that are in it. So this is definitely a chance to prove themselves, and just having it be sort of taken away by something that's sort of out of your control is it's got to be a rough time, no matter how you slice it.
Well, it is the nature of Australian Overwatch. There is always a potential for this to happen. There's a potential for everything. And I am being called out by Vero. Wow. That's sad.
Oh dear.
I need an enforcer now. Send help.
I'm sorry, G, but I love you, but you're gonna have to fight this fight on your own. I've actually ended up muting the actual client in earnest. But really, this is not good for Exto, no matter how you slice it. We could go through similes and all that type of stuff to describe the situation. But if you're Exto and you're really, really amped to do this, that joy of potentially being in a huge series with a juggernaut of a team, one of the front runners of the Rise Up Invitational, just having that sort of slip away from you because of technological interferences it's got to be gutting. And this could be a true test for Exto's fortitude and just their strength as a team to sort of keep everything together.
It's tough. I mean, like, if you look at where these guys are situated right now, they're complete. Like, they're being pincered over on this point. Like, there's players on both sides. Sure, they are down, but you can't shoot both sides of you. So, I mean, even 5v6 in this fight that I'm just kind of staring at, because I happen to be high up in the air and able to be looking at literally every player that's on the field right now. It's like, is a fight that could very realistically be won 5v6. Now, I'm not sure how many other fights they can win 5v6 Cyber Waste, and the longer Nectar takes to come back, there is actually the small chance that they'll have to play this game 5v6, which would be devastating.
That would not be good, but I have seen successful pushes and successful runs by a 5 versus 6 team.
He's back!
This is way back in, I believe it was one of the very first Contenders seasons. A member had dropped for what was then known as King's Gaming Club. They ended up becoming the City Drop Bears. And they actually got to an overtime period on a particular map in a 5 versus 6 because they did actually drop a player. And the unpause has happened. Nectar is back in the fray. And we are back and resuming the fight. And it looks like Shiro did end up taking down Joy Boy, so that's one big heavy hitter taken out of the fight. And Shiro is still running amok. Theo will be there to assist, and then the percentage will start to be accrued by Twisted Vision.
Yeah, and they're pushing them back as well. Straightforward. Seeing if they can't catch the recently reconnected Nectar. But oh, what a shatter!
Shatter from Dio took the legs out of the entire Exo roster and say thank you for the frags. They trade the butting of heads to Dio and Joyboy, and Dio definitely comes out the stronger for that one. And that is an effective Earth Shatter, no matter how you go about it.
Yeah, he caught, I think, 5 people in that one. Definitely caught 4. As we have the Brigitte ults coming out here. Both teams trying to get right up in their faces, trying to brawl it out. Dio getting caught with a great anti there. That's going to be a nice opening pick. Good job by Xiao Bao as Exto try and re-engage. Addie's on the next kill onto Lex as well. They're starting to find these kills, Exto. They're starting to make this work. And it looks like this will, in fact, be a successful push here. As they finally are cleaning up the remaining players from Twisted Vision.
And the only vapor wave that Aesthetic will be riding will be one right back to the spawn room. He does have the sound barrier on deck, though. There is the Graviton Surge and the Self-Destruct. Although it's fallen out of fashion, there is a potential for the bigger bang should they so desire it. But there goes the Graviton Surge. That sound barrier will come out from both sides, as a matter of fact, but they will be down Shiro on the side of Twisted Vision. They'll be down to Person, and Aesthetic and Vero will actually battle back, take out Addy and Joyboy in the process. Now the point is being entirely contested, and now it is the bigger bang, and Pliz will take out Lex and Aesthetic. Dio will be the only person to reply. And there is the convalescence from Noah as this fight does continue.
Yeah, they are starting to brawl it out on the point as Joyboy picks off Shiro. This is looking very good for Exto as they manage to pick off Dio as well. Vero DMX, and that is going to force the players from Twisted Vision all the way back to their spawn. And then may stagger Aesthetic very late. It looks like he will just escape. I was a little bit worried there for a second.
There's the call to arms by Addy, calling out the rally to the troops on the side of Exo, making it a hell of a lot harder for Twisted Vision to cut through the armor. There goes the Earth Shatter from Joyboy, and he is big, amped up, and extremely angry with a giant heavy hammer. Does not claim a lot of victims, but does do a lot of damage and scares everybody away. The self-destruct does go out from from players does clean up Aesthetic, and that will make any potential push extremely difficult for the time being. And Exto will hit 90% before the next contest, but there is the Graviton Surge by Lex. Lex ends up going down, so does Vero. But he does leave a parting gift in taking out Nectar and Joyboy. That is the attack line completely blown away. Overtime will be in effect. There is one member of Twisted Vision on the point. Now there is 2 and 2 on the side as this fight continues, Dreamboat.
Yeah, they are starting to push forward. Thunder Kitty's going to find the nice opening pick onto the Brigida, though, of Shiro. They actually cap the point back over as everyone steps off of that one. So all a cap is needed for Exto to take this one. They're starting to push them off. They will find a nice pick there on to Dio. Aesthetic is going to fall as well. This is looking very good. Exto cleaning up Vero. I think they just actually have this. Overtime is on. Someone needs to step on this point. It will not be able to be done as the first segment goes to Exto Gaming.
We said it in the opening. We hammed it up. They said that they were going from strength to strength on the side of Exto, and they're definitely putting the proof out there for all to see. And they have one section up over Twisted Vision, and we go to the night market. More bright lights and neon and the squid outside of the spawn for Twisted Vision. So that's pretty fun. Who wants calamari? Now, do they stick to the tried and true 3-3 composition? It looks like Twisted Vision are aiming to do so. Nectar is gone to the Genji and Addy is gone to the Sombra. So, could be extremely interesting from Exto if both Addy and Nectar end up being a linchpin in their attacks.
We have the race right onto the point here, trying to get forward, seeing what they can find. Joyboy can be forced off of it as the point has very quickly become Twisted Vision's. The cap is, of course, not unlocked yet, so they've got the positioning, and they should get the opening cap. However, the re-aggression is going to start to come forth from Exto, and it looks like they're content to just give them that cap too.
That could end up coming back to bite them, and Addy hasn't really gotten all that much mileage out of the Sombra just yet, but is approaching halfway onto an EMP. If it could hack one of the heavy targets, either one of the healers or the Mecha Vero, but no, Addy got sniffed out and had to retreat, so that will give a little bit of free real estate to the side of Twisted Vision, and Dio is being the pivotal point, knocking out 2, and Nectar only get the reply onto ejecting Vero and not getting them off the server outright. Shiro will drop Addy, and that Sombra experiment has failed for the time being. There is a Dragon Blade on deck for Nectar, who recently got staggered out a little bit by Aesthetic. So this percentage for Twisted Vision will keep accruing, and has no signs of slowing down, especially given the ultimates that are on deck. We have the Coalescence, Earth Shatter, and Graviton Surge.
That was a little bit early from Shiro. I wonder if that was actually an accident. I don't really see a need for that Brigida ult to come out when it did. But now we have the hack coming in, as is the Dragon Blade getting up in there. Graviton Surge on the field as well. They're condensing all these players. They're starting to find these picks. Nor, she has found the opener on to Nectar. Looking for anything else, and really the follow-up kills aren't there yet. Diva Bomb not going to find anything as well. It will finally D-Mech and lead to the death of Pliss. Thunder Kitty and Joyboy Zhao all falling very quickly there. And finally Twisted Vision cleaning up.
And that long extended opening fight, it's really showing how well Twisted Vision can stand firm and grind out any potential attack. And Addy's had enough. He knows he won't be able to get an EMP in time, so he's gone to the Doomfist. Nectar's gone to the Farah, and everybody's going to have to keep their eyes to the skies. And to the benefit of the side of Exto, there is no real hit scans to deal with the Farah, but overtime is now in effect, and Shiro is now out of the fight.
Yeah, it's a very lovely opener. The Coalescence is not able to find anything off of that one. They're starting to push them all off this point, though, and that's going to allow an Addy to fall. Nora, she's done a great job getting picks on that more, and we'll continue it there. Joyboy will chime back in, as will Nectar, starting to do work on that Pharaoh. He's slowly starting to turn the wave. Exto in very quickly now. A few more picks coming forth. They are just stalling it out as long as they can, but I think this should, in fact, be Exto getting the cap.
they had to grind it out and do a little bit of tinkering with their composition, but they have finally had all the pieces fall into place. Really unsure about that ultimate usage from Shiro, actually. May have wanted to hold on to that rally for a better time, potentially, or a potential new engage, and that could actually be a little bit of a lost commodity they definitely wish they had right now. But Twisted Vision may be content to just sitting this out, as Addy actually taken out of the fight by Lex, and there is a ton of justice by Nectar, and actually got none of it, and Vero will take Nectar out of the fight and force Zalbao to use the Resurrect, as this fight moves into the courtyard, and now moving onto the point proper. An aesthetic will be a part in taking out Joyboy, but the feed will be painted red ever still for the time being, and Twisted Vision, despite their good efforts, they have been thwarted away for the second time.
And they may catch a very late stagger there on the Lex. Oh, just barely escaping. I thought for sure that Lex was going to fall. So good job keeping them alive for Twisted Vision. But this point is still painted red. It is still all Exsto Gaming right now. They need to get on this point at some point, and they're finally starting to break through, starting the opening engagement. Getting a fourth. Lex leading for his team, but very far away. Here comes the Graviton, but it's only really caught Bliss in there. It's going to allow them to demech the Diva. They have also picked off Nectar, and now it's starting to be a Twisted Vision kill feed. And we'll continue to a Twisted Vision point, Cyberwaste.
Looking like it's just Thunder Kitty there on the point, just trying to buy time and be an absolute pest. The more mobile heroes will be very pivotal in holding on, but they will not be able to do so. Exto lose control of the point to Twisted Vision. The point will actually go out, and this could be probably the worst time for this to happen. There was the sound barrier just dropping, and now they have the fight on the side of Exto. Nectar is no longer a part of the server.
Well, I mean, I'm getting used to saying that one at this point. Rest in peace, Nectar. And here's the thing. Now looking at this point, this is where we get to analyze things a little bit differently, because nothing had really happened last time. Something's happening this time. And that's the fact that Addy is already dead on that Doomfist. Thunder Kitty's right on the point, and he's the only person for his team I see there. Yes, he has broken it down, as it were. And he's got quite a bit of health on him and Joyboy, but I still think those players are going to be cleaned up very quickly. So this should, in fact, be Twisted Vision recapping and winning this segment, forcing us to a third and decider segment on the opening map. That's my prediction. Let's see if it plays out.
Well, let's see. And there is one thing to really note, though. Joyboy does have the Primal Rage on deck. I'm actually not in a good enough position locally to see where Joyboy's position is at the moment. Will they be able to get to the point in time and just buy a bit more time for the rest of the team to come back, especially with Addy being out of the fight, actually really recently out of the fight, only probably about 8 more seconds before he even returns, and we still have the disconnecting member of the side of Exto having to come back. So Nectar is really going to be put on the pump to even try to be a potential contestant for this point.
Well, and it's tough, too, because as this pause time goes through, it burns up most, if not all, of Exto's pause time, depending how quickly he comes back. And it's a spot that, if he's out, it's not a case where you can sub a player mid-game. So it would be 5v6 for the end of the first map before they can swap the dead Nectar out for someone else if he can't make it back. The fact that he's dropped 3 times isn't a particularly good sign. And that would give Twisted Vision almost an unfortunate advantage in this series.
And it would not be a good time for Exto. They will at least try. They don't really have a choice. They do have the Primal Rage in their back pocket, and Thunder Kitty just used the sound barrier, and the Coalescence was used by Zalbal. So it's a little bit of a cold comfort, perhaps, because of the way that things are going out. And there's barely a scratch on the side of Twisted Vision. It does not look like they're well equipped to really make a chink in the armor yet.
as we have Nectar rejoining, I'm just going to read the official rule. If a player is unable to rejoin a match in the allocated pause time, then their team must either continue playing with only 5 players or forfeit the map. So that is the official rule as worded. We have Nectar back. We're hoping that his PC carries through. They have about 5 seconds of pause time left. So that'll buy them a hiccup if Nectar dies one more time. But he is back. We're about to go, and we're about to see if my prediction was right, that this is going to be Twisted Vision winning this fight and forcing one more segment.
Let's dance. And now this could be the potential last point. Shiro actually got the fresh frag on the Addy. You saw that right there at the kill feed. Primal Rage. And the sleep comes out, and Jobo got absolutely melted and destroyed. There was only one person contesting, and that is Pliz, and got promptly ejected. Coalescence comes out from Noah. She's keeping everybody topped up, and it's only Addy on the Doomfist with the Meteor Strike, and did not get much damage and did not get much of anything. Got deleted by Dio, and you're right, Dreamboat. We're tied at 1, and we go to the gun to decide it all.
Man, I'm just like a visionary or something. Throw me on that Overwatch lead desk. I'm breaking down fights left and right. Just getting everything right. Okay, maybe not that far.
You're twisted.
I got one right.
Hey.
Oh, I hate you. That was amazing. Well done.
You love it.
I just went full circle. I just said I hate you and I'm proud of you in the same sentence. Kind of like a parent.
Yeah, alright. You're not my real dad, Dreamboat. But going with the more mobile combos. Oh boy. Does Exsto have a sub? They do have one on deck, and if Nectar's trials continue, they may end up needing one. And Shiro is on the ground. Lex and Nectar will be going into a battle for aerial superiority, and we've got a brawl in the gun, and it's looking to be a mutual display as Biro gets the opening frag on a Joyboy. That is one member of the tank line for Exsto. They did not want to lose.
And a few more picks coming in. Addy doing a lot of work on that Tracer, but he unfortunately isn't being really supported by his team. Still in there though, wreaking havoc, and that could actually be enough for Exsto on this point. Biro will chime back in with a kill onto the Diva. This Shiro still doing work. Finally though, I think this is going to go the way of Exsto Gaming, cleaning the rest of these players up.
Yep. And Zaba will get the parting gift up to Shiro. So the opening percentage will start to be accrued by Exsto Gaming, and if you're Twisted Vision, you're not overly worried yet. Still got plenty of game left and plenty of bodies to bounce up, and Lex will get one onto Thunder Kitty, and there goes the barrage from Nectar. Does claim Lex, but Noah will give Nectar a parting gift. Thank you very much. But it is going back and forth in terms of the value of each frag, and there is Pliz being ejected, not able to get back into the mech. Vero will get the final say in that one, and the Primal Rage from Joyboy is just buying a bit more time, and Addy will do so as well now that they have been resurrected and brought back into the fight.
Addy's still wreaking havoc on the Tracer, trying to find anything that he can. But again, Shiro doing great work. Tracer as well will in fact trade off the other Tracer, winning that little duel. They're still trying to chime in with Pliss on the point. They're doing a good job finding a few of these kills, but it looks like potentially that this is going to go the way of Twisted Vision. They're doing what they can, but the barrage coming in, only going to find Lucio, and this has been a maintained point. I thought for a second that was going Twisted Vision's way.
It did show for a little bit, but I guess with the side of Exto being as hungry as they are, they showed a ton of resolve and ended up just grinding out a long fight. They initially thought to stall, and then the light bulb went in their head. Oh, we could actually win this. And it looks like there was another skirmish going on the point. And now the side of Twisted Vision, you're running out of time. You've got a sound barrier to shoot through, and an entire team to try to knock down and squash the resistance. There goes the barrage from Nectar, and the Nectar is so sweet, knocking out Noah for the foreseeable future, and the 99% has been achieved for the side of Exto, so mission accomplished on that front. Hopefully they can get the win. Theo tried to shock down Pliz, but is unsuccessful. In doing so, you get the ejection, but then the self-destruct will force everybody on Twisted Vision away. And throughout all the trials and tribulations, disconnects, Exto scratch their first W of the series against Twisted Vision.
And keep in mind that is the lower of the 2 seeds taking map 1. So that is really great start. And now Twisted will get to choose their map as I'm watching just a hammer swing. Swinging that big old hammer left and right. Just I love watching these play the games. They're fun. It's fun. Takes me back. But it is going to be Twisted Vision deciding whether it's Gibraltar or Rialto. I almost called it like Gibraltar is what I almost said. That would have been not good. But we're also gonna find out if they're subbing Nectar out. It looks like Nectar thinks he's gonna be okay. So that'll be a storyline to watch. There is Exto will, if he keeps crashing. But it might just it's apparently just a Lijiang Tower issue. I'm hoping.
Maybe some people have had issues with maps in any game, so perhaps.
Yeah, I have a friend. He can't play Dust 2 in Counter Strike. He can play any map, but as soon as we go to Dust 2, he's crashed and he will be on a ban because he can't reconnect in time. Don't know what it is, but maybe it's just the same thing with Nectar and Lijiang Tower. He's not allowed to do it. Kaplan has banned him from playing that map or something. I don't know.
The game and the computer just can't get into an agreement with each other, and Jeff's having the final say. Like, nah, not gonna happen.
So, do you think we'll see group suicide here? Both teams did it last time.
Maybe, but maybe just a lot of goofing off in Spawn. We have a pause called, actually. This could be...
no.
This could be... Yes, it is. Nectar has left the game, and he has been a bad omen. So, we are at a conundrum, given the last time he returned, they had 5 seconds left. A reset's been called. And the sub will be required. So instead of a team suicide, we had a blackout of the server. We've leveled up a bit, Dreamboat.
Wow. That's just poetic. That's just the way that things go sometimes. It's a shame too, because Nectar had very ungodly high impact when he was here. Unfortunately, though, it's literally being a half hour for our first map solely because of the pauses. So they're bringing in a sub. They've got a minute to come in. So we may see them start this map 5v6. Or in fact have to play the map 5v6. We'll see. It's unfortunate that that's the case. But that's just the nature of people's computers, man. Sometimes everything goes right and then everything just goes wrong for some reason. You can't get in, everybody else is fine, and it's tough because it's not Nectar's fault.
Looks like the admin has laid the boot in, and due to the unfortunate circumstances in Nectar not being able to reconnect in time, the side of Exto will be playing down a player. So that throws an interesting conundrum into the fray, and you see Shiro go off into the abyss.
Rest in peace. 5v6. Not ideal circumstances, to say the least. But this is where miracles come in, Cyberwaste. This is where ungodly hero plays come in. This is where the little engine that could, the man no one expects, pulls it out and books themselves a championship match.
Who knows?
This is where Exto punched their ticket 5v6 and shock the world.
This could be the version of the... Oh, well, maybe not. I was going to throw in a reference to the Vegas Golden Knights, but there would have to be a hodgepodge of members from other teams just unexpectedly doing things. But that doesn't quite work. But with that being said, the formations are starting to come to fruition. We see Shiro on the Widowmaker, they have been quite formidable and actually quite scary to watch in terms of their play and Noah on the Brigitte. Hopefully she will be a pivotal member of this entire defense, just making things a lot more difficult for the damage dealers of Thunder Kitty and Addy to really burst down, and they're really going to have to work around a unique set of circumstances just looking from their lineup alone. The gates are going to drop, and Exto, the difficulty meter just went up a whole few more notches, and it's going to be a rough time. Let's see if Exto can prove their mettle.
Well, they've done well thus far. They have moved the cart. That's something. Always where when it's 5v6, it's gonna go nowhere. But they have a tall task, and with Addy hitting a nice shot on Shiro, it's become a 5v5. That could be the opening that they need. Do you believe in miracles, Cyber Waste? They are starting to engage. They're looking for it. They're starting to zone these players back. They moved this cart a heck of a lot further than I think people would expect when you say 5v6. We do have Thunder Kitty over on the side on that Hanzo, trying to find the next pick, trying to find the next kill. They're doing what they can, looking for anything, looking for any kind of way to displace these players. And Addy has once again picked the respawn in Shiro. And now he's going to find the follow-up this time onto Aesthetic. Vera will trade that one back out. But this could be it. It's a 4v4. The res will come in on to Addy. Graviton Surge coming in. It's not able to find anything as the Dragon's coming through. They, in fact, are going to be finding the next set of picks. Dio and Vero going down. Lex down as well. Exto, they're going to cap point 1.
Indeed. Not only short-handed, but extremely short-handed in the interim. And they ended up not only evening that out, but ended up just running clean over. They cut Shiro and basically made them a non-factor. And Lex had a really unfortunate Graviton Surge. Did not catch anyone. That had to have been either a miscue or thinking he would get a lot more value out of that. But either way, the Infrasight will come out from both sides, and Shiro already feeling a little bit worse for wear before Noah comes in and tops Widow up.
Feels like a movie with how they're pushing. This feels scripted almost, Cyberways. It's like we're watching like the WWE or something, with the fact that this has already been a miracle start. Can they keep it going though? That is the question. I'm shocked they got 1 point, but they may find more. They are engaging in this fight. They haven't found the next kill. Diva Bomb's coming through, but they will drop Joy Boy, and I think that will finally stunt the push. The offense will finally stop, although Shiro has fallen once again.
That will be the signal to retreat, but Addy did get rid of Lex, so this could be another point for contention, knowing who has been put into the casualty bin. So just continually trying to grind it out, even down a person, and you see Addy really wanting to go toe-to-toe with Shiro, but now the true test begins. The cart is moving towards the seaside, and the rally has come out from Noah. So things are going to be a lot more difficult. There goes the Graviton into the Dragon Strike, and Shiro does end up taking out a Joybo with an entire team assist, but Thunder Kitty will bring Lex to the grave and make the Dragons a little less hungry. Shiro will eject players from the mech, and Noah will get the killing blow. So this fight will continue to be mutual. The cart will continue to make progress, and Twisted Vision will maybe start to ask a few questions.
That was a tremendous Earth Shatter from Joy Boy. Managed to catch 3 of them, allowed them to get a lot further. There will be the re-engagement coming in as Addy has fallen. Xiaobao, though, going to be cleaned up. Thunder Kitty down as well. And finally, the defense, I think, will get a little bit of footing back to itself.
Shiro and Lex will make sure of that, and Pliz has said, no, we're not going to get staggered. We can't really afford to. We're already down 1. So making things a little bit more uniform and causing a bit of a change. We see Doomfist, Genji, the Reinhardt, and the Zarya. So a little bit more shield orientated, and Addy aiming to be the main damage dealer coming in and moving forward. This is only going to get more difficult. Pliz is already down to half and looking to be engaged upon. There goes the Dragon Strike from Lex, forcing everybody to cut part the C's. Vero and Shiro will cut two of the members in half. Lex will be the assistant. Vero did end up getting one frag, and Plez will be the final casualty. You sound the bell for the team wipe. We're just under 2 minutes. We're on 1 minute 50 to be exact, Dreamboat.
I've gotten it good distance, but again, it's going to be a lot harder when it comes to defense. Can they do it? The Cyberwars are starting to inch their way back into this engagement. They're looking for the next set of picks. Will they do this for Nectar? Will they pull the miracle off? Find out.
Joybo will have to get a huge shatter to try and set up an engagement. Is already going down. He's back. Nano extremely angry, aiming to perhaps crack a shield and bring a body with him. But there is a lot less. There goes the Earth Shatter. The Dragon Strike will follow. And this entire attack, if you can call it that, was stunted before it began. And on the back of that Mighty Hammer of Dio, that's another team wipe. And we're down to 1 minute. Exto, you've done so well to come this far. What else do you have to offer?
Well, hopefully miracles. Hopefully hero plays. Hopefully, I have no idea. I mean, I at this point, I'm so baffled at the fact that they've gotten it this far. But the Earth Shatter has been blocked. That is a huge tool off the field. They need to start finding these next kills. Here comes the Meteor Strike. See if it can connect. It will, in fact, find Lex, so that's a big opener. They need to find the next set of kills. So Cyberwaste are looking for anything. Looking for space. Looking for something.
And he was the X Factor. He's actually punched through the entire defense of Exto Gaming. The entire defense of Twisted Vision. And golly me, they ended up punching through the wall! It's almost like the ending of Ricky O. You are all free now! And now Twisted Vision will be aiming to try and hang on and prevent more time being added on. But that will be the end of that. The checkpoint will actually tick over. And we are 2 in. 1 minute and 20 left to go. And this miracle run will actually get another lease of life.
It is continuing against all the odds in the world to inch forth. Twisted Vision, this is gut check time, man. You gotta pull something out here somehow.
Really wanted that self-destruct into Earthside to throw everybody off, but Shiro would get rid of the Miracle Man known as Addy. And on the back of that, Exto Gaming are on the full pelted retreat. And now the members of Twisted Vision and Exo are at a bit of a standstill, and Shiro will get rid of Thunder Kitties, so that will be that attack abandoned, and Extra Gaming will have basically the equivalent of a jumble sale sort of setup. They have the Meteor Strike, they have the Earth Shatter, they will have the Graviton Surge on deck in the next fight, but they don't have a lot of the pivotal ultimates they would have wanted. They'll have to get it during the fight. The Dragon Strike will claim the potential big ult of Xiao Bao. The Ana will be put to rest. Shiro, Vero, and the entire Twisted Vision lineup will be contributing to a team effort and a team wipe as well. And give all the credit to Extra Gaming. They couldn't finish out the map, but it is an absolute miracle. You said that word a lot during the commentary, but it was indeed the truth. They got nearly to the 3rd stage, only with 5 people on the team.
And I unfortunately do see Nectar out there in Twitch chat, so that means that he's alive again, which is always a good sign. To my knowledge, to get him back, it is up to, unfortunately for him, Twisted Vision, as to whether or not they can actually bring him in. So there's a chance that we're going to get Nectar back. We'll see.
Perhaps we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. And Twisted should be on the... should be ready to make the call. And just to make things clear, no, we're not going to see a reset in the map. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see in the next map to see the next stage.
Bureau says they're bringing him in. It sounds like Nectar's coming back. There was some debate there between the Twisted Vision's internal players, but they've allowed it. Nectar is back. And as Thunder Kitty aptly put it, he'll probably DC anyways.
Given his history, he doesn't have the best track record, so maybe that will be a true test. And Twisted Vision really going hellbent for leather, running right through with the safe speed boost, and Dio's been put to bed. So that may have stunted the potential full-blown hellbent for leather aggression that Rob Halford would have been proud of. And this defense is actually holding strong for the time being. The debuff on the side of Twisted Vision was being a little bit of a wreaker of havoc, but it was not enough. Joyboy will end up being turned to scrap metal. Pliz will be doing the same, and with Zalbar being taken out of the fight, it could be the first point conceded by Exsto, despite looking good on the defense, but now with that being completely shattered, the war machine of Twisted Vision will begin to roll forward, and 5 minutes 25, you can't really argue with a time bank like that.
No, a very healthy bank, very large potential for them to do something. We'll see though if they can continue to inch this car good distance forward. They've already crossed the bridge, already moving it past the docks and up to the overpass. Let's see if they can continue to make it with this much ease. There's of course Nectar doing some work on the Pharaoh right now with the damage boost. We can see if we can get that nice big opener for this defense to try and stunt the offense. The Twisted Vision, they seem to be sailing quite comfortably, Cyberwaste.
And there it goes. Dio and Lex will be being a tandem effort. Vera will do the same. This Twisted Vision machine is lighting up the kill feed in a beautiful shade of baby blue. And this has no signs of stopping it. Addy will say, no, I will just choose to respond with my teammates. And now it is up to Exto Gaming. They do have the Graviton Surge, but having a lot of changes in the fray now. They're looking to try to contest it just as they got in a position to do so. The checkpoint will be moving down into their name, and Vera will blow up Thunder Kitty and make him eat Mountain Dew, Doritos, and nuclear fallout. And this payload has had no signs of stopping, and given what they have in their pocket with the Coalescence, Sound Barrier, and Earth Shatter, Twisted Vision will have quite a lot to hand in this engagement.
They need to find some of these kills, though, as a lot of ults being used. Coalescence out on North. Earth Shatter going down. Joyboy will get caught, or should it? Likely. There he goes, down his Zhao. And Addy as well. This is going all Twisted Vision's way. The sixth player doesn't matter, as Twisted Vision look to cap this out. Nectar is still there. Thunder Kitty's with them. That will be just Thunder Kitty. They've cleaned them all up in Twisted Vision, beating the even staff this time. Exto Gaming to take our second map. Means that we're going a guaranteed distance of 4, Cyberwaste.
Indeed. That was a stiff reply if you ever wanted one. Twisted Vision were looking basically outclassing the Dire Exo roster from start to finish. I know there was a little bit of a technical hiccup with Exo only playing a person down, so that should be commended, but in terms of the formalities of things, in terms of wins and losses, well, you really have to give it to Twisted Vision.
I'm confused. I'm reading chat, and it says very clearly, like, Exto get to choose between HLC and TOA, so Temple of Anubis or Horizon Lunar Colony. And Lex says, wait, you mean HLK?
That's MLK.
And it's like, no, there's no K. colony is spelled with a C. I just love the banter. This is great. Lex is very
No,
confused.
maybe it's either bloody it'd either be Martin Luther King or Horizon Lunar Colony. Who knows?
Yeah, they're trying to discuss it now because we finally have convinced Lex which map it is. Exto's confused. There's just confusion all around. It'll be clear eventually.
Indeed, just like the winning vision of Twisted Vision, they have tied up at 1. So Exto are on the choice of map, and they have chosen to go to the Temple of Anubis. So we're not seeing the reworked Horizon Lunar Colony.
Yeah, and I mean, Thunder Kitty does pick Anubis, so yeah, it's where we're going to. Again, there's still discussion going on. I think Zhao wasn't set. I've been memed apparently. That explains everything. Okay, me getting
Yeah.
memed. What else is new, Cyber Waste? I'm just a consistently memed person.
I'm getting far too old to keep up with memes. That's not my style.
Well, let's go to the no meme zone. The Temple of Anubis, aka the Temple of no memes.
Oh dear. Okay, Dreamboat, you really put me on the spot for that one. But hopefully we'll see something a little bit more unique. Hopefully we'll see some of the strats that we did see come to fruition in Australian contenders at MEO. Maybe both of these teams were paying attention and wanting to try to emulate that for themselves. Or maybe one team's noticed it, the other one hasn't. Who knows? I just want weird things. I want strange compositions. I want Exo to throw caution to the wind. Because they are the lowest seed and they have they got to the final four. They definitely want to win, but I'd say in their camp, I'd say that they wouldn't really have a lot to lose. So they may as well just go down fighting. And indeed, that we've got to make note of a substitution. Nectar did end up getting subbed out, and Dandy has come in to take their place.
Well, that sounds like a dandy substitution.
And indeed, and Dandy definitely well versed in a lot of the. Well, I love that in the team list that I have to hand, Exto's Dandy is listed as a DPS, and one of the heroes that he's got on deck is the Zenyatta. So, dude must be thinking he's Jonak.
Just gonna let that one sit there for a second. It's needed, but you know it's just needed.
That didn't fly, did it? Wow.
I'm a boat, so it's officially a no-fly zone.
All right. I'll give you that one.
All right. So, moving on, we are actually going to Temple of Anubis now. Thank you for sticking with us, and I hope Twitch chat doesn't send angry people to my Twitter, which is at DreamboatCasts, or your Twitter, which is at IamCyberWaste.
No, you definitely shouldn't go there and complain to me.
Yeah, you shouldn't complain, but you should drop a follow, right?
If you would be so kind, that would be lovely. But you are by no means pressured to do so. Hopefully, Lex will stick to this Junkrat. Let's make things clear for you. This is the choice of looks like Exto has chosen to go on attack first, and the defense is on the side of Twisted Vision. Perhaps we're going into the treehouse with Shiro and Lex being a lot of the heavy hitters.
So looking at these lineups that we're seeing, defense, it's standard. I mean, I think this is literally one of the comps we saw. Ooh, I want to say Pixel ran it when we saw them earlier tonight.
On defense, yes.
Yeah.
And the Widow actually ended up running riot and crumbling an entire attack because they left, because the opponents of Cascade actually left them unchecked. So hopefully the attacking side of Exto do not make the same mistake. 5 seconds until the gates drop. It looks like things are finalized on both sides in terms of compositions. It's go time.
And trying to bust their way through the front gate is going to Demon Shout gets picked off immediately. Shiro doing all kinds of work, and that's what you want to see if you are a Twisted Vision fan. Nice opening pick there. Can they continue it, though, is the million-dollar question. Joy Boy is quite lit. Will be grabbing a pack, healing himself back up. And it looks like we're going to see the re-engagement come forth now, trying to get up in there. No early pick this time. But again, a good job denying area, denying space. As Twisted Vision try and hold Shiro, though, he's going to fall to Dandy on the Genji. Nectar replacement doing all kinds of work right off the bat.
And there's no resurrect on the side of the defense either. Actually, yes, there is. I miscalculated. I thought that was a Zen. Never mind. And Addy will actually drop Lex. So Twisted Vision are definitely on the back foot. And there's definitely no resurrect now because Aesthetic is now on the bench. Bureau's put micro missiles right through Joy Boy, but that has been all he's been able to muster. Addy and Dandy have cleaned out the Twisted Vision defense, and at this point will be entirely conceded to Exto Gaming. And looking at the positioning from a couple of members, they're poised to try and get the snowball to get into effect before the side of Twisted Vision are able to get into positions.
They are going to see if they can't roll through with quite a bit of speed. They're all on the point right now, and Nor has fallen. Bliss doing a great job getting that pick on the Ana, and they're looking for whatever else they can find. And they've actually found a few more. D-meching Vero, picking off Dio, Aesthetic down as well. Shiro is on the point. That's the only line of defense. So that's going to be a full team kill. They're going to be able to get at least one tick. Nora coming right back out the spawn door, being denied as well. The second tick coming through. A third one. Is it going to be? That's going to be a lightning fast pace. Wow.
The snow came and fell super hard. That is a blazing speed for X in the back pocket for Exo Gaming. 6 minutes and 1 solitary second should we require to go to extras. And whoa, if you're Twisted Vision, you'd be feeling a little bit stunned by that. The fact that one engagement, it took a long time for that point to finally tip over on the initial points out the front of point A and the fountain. But as soon as that all fell into place, the snowball was triggered and right for effect, and they played that to a T.
And Exto, now that they have mana issues aside, looking like they're going to be the ones to shockingly punch their ticket to a final with Pixels. We are, of course, only in our third map of a best of 5. It's been an even series thus far, so anything can happen. But man, oh man, if now that they have Dandy in the mix, their offenses start looking like that, it's a big task for Twisted Division to try and match.
And then Shaba has gone to the Symmetra to bring everybody up to the high ground, and we call it the Treehouse. Exo's Treehouse. They are looking above the main point of contention, the first choke, and you see the Orisa, Diva, and the Junkrat up top. And now this setup has actually come to a little bit more prominence now that Diva, or May, excuse me, is no longer really required to get up there. It's made things a little bit easier there. And now we're going to the tried and true 3-3 composition for the side of Twisted Vision. So that's going to make the workload all that much harder for Addy and Dandy to try and chew through moving forward.
Dio getting bumped around, and a great anti-nade from the Ana coming in there. Those 3 players caught in it. They weren't able to convert a kill off of that one, though. And you have players just stepping on the point just long enough to deny a tick or 2 coming forth. And Vero, again, is going to be antied, but it looks like it's still going to be okay. Finally, Joyboy is dropping down, but Bliss is being cleaned up swiftly. For a few more kills, Joyboy in a lot of trouble, but another good anti-nade coming in from above. Might find Shiro getting caught, but no, it looks like it will be Joyboy going down at some point there. Zhao is actually the next one to fall with the Riptire. Andy grabbing 2 of them. Not sure that's going to matter, though, as it will, in fact, be the offense rolling through quite nicely as well. It's a very quick cap of 0.1. And now we'll see if they can mirror that. 6 minutes in the bank. That means that Twisted Vision have a full minute to try and match the time of Exsto Gaming. And I think they're going to want to take this just as fast, Cyber Waste.
Indeed, they almost got really staggered because of the respawn of the Aesthetic and Dio, but they did end up getting back into the fray. And just as quick as the previous stanza, same burst, same as the first, they have moved on to the main point with quite a plumb. The Valkyrie does come out from Xiaobao, and there is the Convalescence in reply from Noah, and the Graviton Surge coming out from the side of Twisted Vision, but the kill feed is being painted red for the time being. Exo is starting to flex their metal and telling the side of Twisted Vision to stop, and they will do just that. Daddy and Eddie will get the parting words, and that snowball, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
I'm just waiting for the time that I'm like Fruity and Slip on Dandy and Addy and call them Andy and Daddy. Okay, I feel like it's gonna happen at some point. I just need to get that off my chest. It's gonna happen.
We'll give you a mulligan if it does end up happening. How about that? There goes the Riptide from Addy, and we'll claim Dio, Shiro, and Aesthetic. And my Aesthetic is not Vaporwave, it is Blood, Gore, and Explosions. This entire attack. Nope. It's gonna be abandoned, and Vero will change heroes and then change back to Rig, the mech quicker.
Yeah, I mean, Addy just popping in there and saying, "Who's your daddy?" Just getting a nice 3K with that Riptire. That was a lovely set of play, and we'll see if they can stop
and teed up on that one. Well done. There goes the sound barrier now from Twisted Vision. This could be their best chance because it's going to be a lot for the members of Exto Gaming to try and shoot through. The anti-nade will claim a lot of bodies, but nobody is able to finish off the frags, and Thunder Kitty will be squashed by the hammer. And then Joyboy will be put into the wall and made him extremely angry. The Primal Rage will force the attackers back. Dandy will claim Lex, and I know that Vero is trying as hard as still in the mech, but is promptly ejected and told to get off the property. But this fight, they're not giving it up on the side of Twisted Vision, but they will be forced to do so given every member of the team is down or back at the spawn.
Long spam coming in. It's just, just letting Lex farm up a little bit of charge on that Zarya as they start to move forth. That Junkrat spam is very potent, though, along with the Pharah, so that's done a decent bit of damage coming through. But Vero is going to get right up there onto the top, trying to engage. As we see the wrap coming in behind the point, and Blitz has been picked off. Lex with a great opener from the Zarya. Graviton Surge has been dropped down. The Ana's in it, and that's going to be cleaned up as well. Riptire will pick up Aesthetic, though. And here come the Rocket Barrage. Dandy grabbing 2. Diva has also been demeched. That is going to be easy cleanup. As Aesthetic spawns, the bell will ring for team kill, Cyber Waste.
And now the side of Twisted Vision are going through some changes. We do see the constant of Noah. She does have the Convalescence ready to go. Vero has the self-destruct, but we've seen a full morphing into a different composition. We're going full-blown aggression and dive and speed. We see the Genji with Lex, Shiro on the Tracer, and given a couple of the targets are rather squishy, it'll be up to Vero and Dio to really hold the line, or it could be a very fragile attack that could be easily snapped if they're not careful.
Start to see the wrap once again coming through. They are getting set to get right on this point. In fact, on it, they are. 3 minutes left on the clock that they are working with. The stall starting to come forth, but Dio going down is a great opening pick for this defense. Exto Gaming doing a lot of work. Bliss, though, has at risk it being demacked. However, Dandy, he found 2 quick kills.
Indeed, but that may be all the attackers are able to muster. Lex and the little diva pilot of Vero will be stretched out a little bit more, and Shiro will join the comrades of Twisted Vision in the grave. But that could be considered a dry run given how close some of the members are to ultimates. The only real concern will be Vero, who's extremely low, and we'll have to get in the thick of the fight to even come close to being able to bring out another self-destructor hand.
The pulse bomb goes right on the point, doesn't find anything. No, the Tracer is on the field trying to cause a bit of a nuisance. These players have regrouped, getting ready to push in. Here comes the sound barrier as these players are getting ready, and the Dragon Blade is off as well. Addy, though, finding the opening pick on the Shiro, will be quickly traded up for the Dragon Blade. Dandy going down as well. Lex doing a lot of work on the Genji right now. Point is still contested, and he has been antied. They should be able to convert that Genji pick very soon. In fact, they will. Now, at this point, though, it's still starting to tick up. These kills are being painted blue. Twisted Vision finding many of them. 2 players left up here. Make that a third as the Pharaoh joins the fray. Starting to be pushed back, trying to find any of these kills, but the stall is so good right now from Exto Cyberwaste. They're doing everything they can to delay this point. The spawners have come back in, and they're starting to find these kills.
That's what having a close spawn will do for you. Despite having everything go your way, the manpower actually came back into the fray. The entire team and their defense ended up holding strong, and despite things looking so good in the opening gamut, and Vero, oh dear, this is not looking good for poor Vero. Being staggered out, just accepting their fate, and that is a huge, huge time loss there. They'll have to wait. Sit on their hands and wait for Vero to come back into the fray. Just coming back now. Not even close to a self-destruct. The only ultimate close to hand, and now to hand, will be Shiro and the pulse bomb that Lex has taken out Shabao, so that could be a cue to go. And there goes Shiro and the pulse bomb, making it count, taking out Addy. That is a huge healer taken off of the table, and Shiro will also claim out Danny. So the Tracer and the pulse bomb to boot are doing a lot of work. So now it is up to the side of Exto to retaliate. Self-destruct does come out to force everybody on the side of Twisted Vision away, but it is only for a brief respite. And now the reinforcements are coming in on the side of Exto, and overtime has been put into effect.
Nora is going to be the next casualty in this fight by Xiaobao on the Lucio. Done a good job of looking for a few more, but Lex with a nice pick on the Widow. It doesn't seem to matter, though. Kills are still going Exto's way. Zero's done a good job on that Diva, but he's the only one in this fight. He's being demeched, he's being knocked away, and that is going to do it. It's going to be a complete stonewalling. And with 6 minutes in the time bank, that doesn't even come into effect because Exto don't let them cap it out.
Exto turning to Team Extreme, if you will. And Dandy proving to be one of the X Factors. And here is a play and a true testament as to why he's been one of the bigger heralds of that particular effort. Just look at it. Just running all the way through the defense then of Twisted Vision, and God, just running right through. It's like, I will bring you all to victory. Stand at my back, and I will take care of the rest. And Exto will be put onto match point as we go into the 4th map of our set, and it will be our hybrid set. We have either King's Row or Eichenwald, and Twisted Vision have the power of choice. It looks like they have gone with the tried and true classic, King's Row.
Ooh, King's Row, baby, with Exto on attack. Ooh, I'm intrigued. Color me interested, Cyberwaste. Color me interested.
Which color are you? Are we going to end the night here? Or are we going to a final map 5? Or potential 6, depending on how this map shakes out.
I'd like to see us go all 6 maps. I don't know about you. But that would also mean that this has to be a tie. And ties kind of suck.
Ties
so I'd like it to go 5 maps.
Yeah, ties do seem a bit anticlimactic. And with the way that King's Row's been played as of late, a tie isn't impossible, but it's going to need a few unique circumstances to end up transpiring, and maybe they will end up transpiring in this next set. And now we are in the preparation phase as of right about now.
Do you ever wonder, Cyberwaste, how we end up in some of these places, like on these maps? Like fighting? Like, I'm looking around here in the area behind the point on King's Row. It's like a guy's living room. It's got a couple lounge chairs, nice painting. You ever just like wonder why are we fighting in people's houses?
Actually, I could answer this. This is because some lore guys really gonna rig me for this, I think. But this is after the Omnic crisis, and everybody has been forced away, and we're basically fighting in a restricted zone, if I recall.
I guess, but like, I mean, I just like leave the hotel door locked. You know, do we really need to fight in a hotel? Can we just fight in the streets? I feel like that's better for everybody.
Everybody evacuated when Mandata almost actually got shot in the face, so that doesn't really help. So the defense is going with a little bit of speed on deck to keep everybody topped up, and Shiro to make things a little bit more difficult for the damage dealers to chew through. And Addy and Daddy will really have their work cut out, and looks like to be quite mutual, but the side of Exsto are really putting the pedal to the metal and really kicking the speed up.
We are starting to drive forth. Gonna be slowing it down a little bit. Joyboy's the only one truly engaged at this point. He's taking a bit of a duel with Dio, but he's just gonna jump out, cause a bit of a distraction. And this is slowed down to the pace of molasses for this push.
Really sort of trying to test the waters. There's a lot of damage being exchanged, but no frags yet. And you give the edge ever so slightly to the side of Exo, and you definitely would now with Lex being dropped out of the fight and 2 being on the point, and a potential 3rd being taken with only 1 member going down. And now the members of Twisted Vision left in a little bit of dire straits, with Vera being ejected and wiped off the map, as well as Noah. She will be sent to the bleachers, and we've got at least 1/3 for Exo, but it'll be the call of Twisted Vision whether to recontest or essentially concede everything. And Lex, try it as he might, will end up going down, and that will be the plug pulled for the opening point defense. And with 5 minutes give or take, 4 minutes 50, Exo will get the payload moving. And Addy doing a really good job keeping the defense of Twisted Vision, keeping them honest and keeping them at an arm's reach, telling everybody, yeah, I'm a sharpshooter and you best not step into my sight line or you are going to lose your head.
Yeah, we do have the engagement starting to come forth right now. They're starting to get right in over to this point. We haven't seen any of these kills come out yet. They've done a good job pushing them back, but they're not finding anything here, Cyberwaste.
Vera did end up taking out Addy, trying to retreat, so Twisted Vision will really value that frag, and Shiro will call the fellow members of Twisted Vision to arms and tell them to rally. So they'll have a little bit extra armor coming into this X fight. This Earth Shatter and Self-Destruct, they may not be used in tandem, but they could be a huge deciding factor, as will Dandy and his Dragon Blade will claim Shiro and Noah, and Blizz will get the final kill onto Dio. So the blade did get unsheathed and cut the defense down to size, and Xiaobao will get the parting gift onto Lex, and then he will continue his sharp, pointy reign of terror by cutting out Aesthetic. So this first part of the Streets phase, all things considered, you could call that a win for Exo Gaming. But Twisted Vision will be well armed to contest.
Yeah, they're moving comfortably, and will this contention come in time to deny the point? It looks like it will be there just at the right time, because Exto really fell back expecting this. Earth Shatter's going to come in. That's going to catch 2. Both of these players should fall. In fact, they will, but Bliss is chimed right back in with a couple from that Diva Bomb. Dandy doing work now on the Genji, and it looks like Exto, they're going to continue to move this forward, finding all of these kills, and I think they're going to stagger Vero potentially very late. I'm not going to stagger it that much. But they still got the kill late.
It's not that much, but still it's going to cause them to spawn a little bit out of sync, and that's not something that you want. The quarterback arm from Thunder Kitty did not get a debuff, but still it was really cool to look at, to watch it soaring in the air. And now we're at the S-bend in the Foundry, and the side of Twitch Division is really moving forward, and it has forced out the Transcendence from Xiao Bao. Theo will claim Thunder Kitty, and Noah will go down to the Dragon Strike, and Danny and Addy being not only the DPS duo, but the brotherly duo, running riot all the way through Twisted Vision, making Twisted Vision not see a trophy, but see nothing but dragons, swords, arrows, and death.
Getting right back in this defense, trying to find something, and here comes some ultis that might just be the tools that they need. Bliss is being demech, Joy Boy has fallen, and it looks like finally they're going to be able to stop this one out, and they're going to find the rest of these kills. Bliss is trying to run Addy as well, and I think they are all going to cleaned up. Addy's done a good job, though. He somehow found 2 kills there. That's a great job.
That could actually be a huge regret, going that far forward and actually losing a life in the process. Yes, you'll storm in time, but you're giving him ult charge, and with an ultimate that is as powerful as the Dragon Strike and attacks like this, where you can part the defense, that may not have been worth it in the long run. But we'll have to wait and see. Another engagement is about to transpire.
Your shadow comes down, it will catch 3 of them, and Addy's gonna be cleaned up. Down goes Zhao as well. Theo doing a great job on this Reinhardt, finding some nice engagements, doing a great job forcing them back. And this time they're extending for these kills, and I don't think they're gonna drop anyone this time, as they backed them all the way to spawn.
Yep, gonna have to really recalibrate everything. A Joy Boy has moved to the Reinhardt, and Pliss has moved towards the Zarya. So a little bit of a morphing and adaptation, trying something different. You do have the luxury of time to do such things, but it may not be all that much. 2 minutes left in the back pocket, and they're fighting directly on the ground. And there goes the Dragon Strike from the side of Exto Gaming. Does not do much, but it does part the seas. Then it will cut Shiro in half. So there's one healer dropped off of the map for now, but Aesthetic will take out Addy, the offending Dragon Strike connoisseur. And for now, Twisted Vision will hold strong just past the first bend in the Foundry. We're down to 1.5 minutes left to play.
So need to find some form of an opening here if they want to get this all the way through. You know, that's exactly what they love. But we do have the Graviton coming in. They may be able to convert a few of these kills off of that one. They're all pinned up. They haven't found any of them yet. There they fall. Dio getting 3. He is an absolute monster this map, doing all kinds of work. And of course, he's going to get the 4th just to call it a day.
And Dio actually knocked Joy Boy into the pit from a shoulder charge. And really feeling glad about that. Well, Dio, we may as well call you a holy diver, I guess. That may not go over everybody's head, but I don't care. We're going into 45 seconds. And this is about as good of a chance as any for Extra Gaming to try and reply. But there goes the Earthshatter from Dio. Lex and Dio will be the tandem to run riot on the entire attack for Twisted Vision, for them to try and move forward on the side of Extra Gaming. They'll have to try their damnedest. Sandy did unsheath the blade, but got next to nothing off of it, and Xiaobao will send its depths into the pit. Send Lex into the pit. So on the side of Exto, you're finally getting an opening, but you will have to stick to the payload like glue. Overtime will be in effect as soon as Dio is properly moved away from the point, and now this payload finally will start to get moving. But now it is a basically one rule attack moving forward: survive.
The Shatter's up for Dio as well, and that would be able to knock all these players down right around the cart. It will catch 3 of them. They need to convert these kills off of them. Dandy's got the only one so far on Lex. He's looking for anything more. Drugboy's in a lot of trouble, but it's gonna be Shiro to be the next one to fall. Dio down as well. Exto's finding all the picks in this one. Danny's gone down the pit, but it doesn't seem to be matter. Pliss has found a few more. Aesthetic's the only one here. This might in fact be Exto getting the cap all the way through Cyberwaste. It's coming down to the wire. The delays are doing everything. The kills need to come in, but that's a great auntie from the Ana. However, Zhao, found 2. Theo on the point, only player around. Vero's joined him now. Will they fall? Will they go down? It is just Vero. He in fact will fall, and Exto will cap it out.
It took so much grinding down. They had to put the hammer to the anvil and make a loud crack to finally break the defense. They don't have any time to hand, but if the defense is sound from the side of Exo, it could be enough.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. What a way for that one to go. I honestly didn't think Exto had that. I thought with the amount of work that Dio was doing on the Reinhardt, that there was no way they were getting past that. I thought that corner was the corner of death, the corner where you've seen a lot of games and they couldn't do it. I thought Twisted Vision had that, but the miracle of overtime changes everything.
Indeed, especially with the way that spawns change, timers change, all that jazz. And I think if you're Exo, given how dire things were getting, especially with, as you mentioned, Dio being an absolute German maniac on the Reinhardt, just not a swinger for the fences, but just being a pivotal member of the defense for Twisted Vision. You think he was basically being the entire defense, the figurehead of it, but they ended up bringing it down and tearing it open, and they ended up finishing it out right. And a little bit of an unorthodox composition coming out here. Well, not really in the grand scheme, except there is Addy on the Bastion, a rarely seen hero on King's Row. You see him on Junkertown occasionally with the pirate ship, but this is not Junkertown, so maybe this will catch Twisted Vision unaware, and Noah just stepped straight to a trap, so that is not the best start you would have wanted, and Pliz will knock down Lex. So even after that pick and hearing that chain gun rattling off, that's already the call to retreat, recalibrate what they're going to do next on the side of Twisted Vision.
And quite wisely, I thought he was actually. I thought Addy was going to wisely reposition, but he seems to fall back, just letting them come through, maybe check that window, seeing that he's not there. He's playing very deep right now as these players starting to try and wrap around, getting him behind, and now he's peering out. Now we should reset the gun, as this is a very wide wrap being taken here. This is a peculiar push, to say the least.
We've seen the LA Gladiators try something similar, so maybe it'll be the thing, that the composition that makes Exto Gaming's Exto's defense completely crumble. But it doesn't look like it is able to beat Addy, just running riot, but got ran clean over by the entire Twisted Vision attack. And there is a potential resurrect, not to be. Zalbao will be brought down, and Noah will be the only reply. And now the members of Twisted Vision are on the point proper and just biding their time and thinning out the numbers. Pliz did get ejected from the mech and from the server for the foreseeable future. And it took a while, but you technically call that a first fight cap for Twisted Vision.
That was, yeah, I mean, that was just such an elongated engagement. But really what it came down to is Addy falling at the beginning of that engagement. The fact that the Bastion couldn't just sit there in the tight corridor and just shred everybody. And that is why, in turn, that defense failed. Defense has readjusted. Addy is now on the Pharah. We're seeing if they can find a nearer defense here.
Perhaps wanting to keep the payload stuck under the arch, but that's made extremely difficult now with Addy going out of the fight and the Valkyrie and Nano Boost coming out to try and stem the tide. Graviton Surge does come out from Twisted Vision. No follow-up, sadly, but that will keep the side of Exto Gaming a little bit honest. Now that the defense is logged, all the library could be a field day for the Junkrat. but Pliz has been dropped out of the fight, and poor Aesthetic jumped right into the line of Joy Boy's charge and paid with his life because of it, but Lex will drop the offending Reinhardt and Joy Boy, and this payload will keep moving relatively uncontested, but there is one more chance for Exsto to dig their heels in.
And they do have a lot of space for them to take this engagement if they so choose. There's, of course, a couple shields out there that they need to try and work with. But they are starting to line that engagement up. Red Tower's going to come in. It's in behind, actually, into the back lines. We'll pick off Nor. So that is the Ana player down. She'll be on a long respawn timer as they found a few more kills. Addy getting 2, Daddy getting another one. Joy Boy chiming in with one of his own will be enough to completely decimate that push. And finally, we have a little bit of heel digging in for Exsto, starting to grit their teeth on this defense.
It's in a prime position to do exactly that. Not even close to the second checkpoint, in between a few of the alleyways. So you'll see a lot more of these very similar fights. So there is the Graviton Surge coming out from Exsto. Did not catch anybody. That could end up being very, very costly moving forward. And Lex will get rid of Plez and Dandy with a lot of assists. Vero will get rid of Zalbao as well. And Noah will end up falling thanks to Addy. But it may not be enough. It will not be enough. The checkpoint will end up ticking over. And 3 minutes and 30. And if this Farah of Addy ends up getting staggered out a little bit more, caught extremely out of position, this could end up being an extremely bad error on the side of Exsto Gaming. But this Riptide could end up just keeping everybody honest and actually claiming the Brigitte on Shiro. So not only keeping Twisted Vision honest, but claiming a body on top of it.
Yeah, and Addy did commit suicide to try and get back to defend with his team. Does have the Pharaoh ulti up if he wants to use it. And the Diva Bomb coming in, not finding anything. Neither did that Earth Shatter. So we are in a fairly even fight right now. Joy Boy is starting to build his Shatter up, should he so choose to use it. But here comes the Justice, and it only finds Shiro once again. But the rest of these players are finding these kills. Exsto digging their heels in, finding a defense. And finding a pause but not pause. We're good.
A little bit of ping issues. Wouldn't be an Australian competition without it. And Exto finally looking to try and find in a very similar position to where their attack ended up getting halted on the side of Exto Gaming. Perhaps they might have learned a few lessons or know a few tricks or strategies of their own to try and thwart the side of Twisted Vision. So did end up coming out from Dandy. It does claim Lex, and Pliz will knock out Dio. Only Zalbao on the defense will end up falling. That tank line being shattered has basically stopped this attack. Did it distract Stream Mode.
Well, and I don't think they realized just what an interesting spot the Brigitte was in there. That was a very catchable player on Shiro. And that's something that's happened thus far. Shiro's been caught at a few inopportune times for his team. Now with this Graviton Surge coming in, will they be able to find anything off of it? In fact, they will. They'll demech the Pharah. They're going to pick off a couple more as Addy doing work, grabbing the Ana and Ryan. And again, this push is all but over. Shout will fall very late, but it doesn't really matter.
No, they can,
29.
They can get back into sync a lot quicker than the defense can. They still have to wait for Vero to come back. I know Farah and Vero do sound similar. And there is the call to arms from Shiro, definitely indicating an attack coming out. And there goes the Graviton Surge from Twisted Vision, really trying to crack a defense. The Bio Nade from Noah is perfect. She will get the final gift onto Thunder Kitty, and the Riptire from Dandy will only shatter the shield of Shiro, will not destroy the Brigitte that holds it, and this payload will finally begin to move towards the golden box of victory.
It's close, Cyber Waste, but there is 40 seconds left on the clock, and Joy Boy is down a pit. That's not where you want to be at this time in the game. T-Mac's going to come in. Dandy's going to be caught out as well off of it. These delays coming in, but it's looking very good right now for Twisted Vision. They may be able to get this cap off. Here comes the breaking it down all over this point, giving these players a lot of life. As they start to find the rest of these kills, and in fact, they will get it capped out. We have this thing all knotted up. We need a little bit more time here on King's Row, as that was a letter number, as Lex would say.
Indeed, it is a Charlie Niner friendos. A little bit of preoccupation for the defense there, which is a little bit unfortunate, but with the way that overtime works in these hybrid maps, each team gets an additional minute. So they have 1 minute flat on the side of Exto Gaming and 1 minute 22 on the side of Twisted Vision. But in the grand scheme of things, you basically say 1.5 fights for each side, maybe 1 or 2 on the side of Twisted Vision with that 1 minute 22 in pocket. But when you sit down and think about it, it's not really all that much. You'd be splitting hairs at that point.
And I mean, depending how quick your first fight goes, how quickly you realize that it's not actually push. Like at a minute 22, you could maybe eke out a third push. If one of them is really fast. So it's not much time at all.
No, we're working with a very fine margin of error. Exto wants to win out. The members on attack, and Twisted Vision will want to push this to a 5th map. The gates are now dropped. We're going into extras. And Twisted Vision are wanting to stay alive, and Exto are wanting to pack it up. And the fight on the point directly in front of the mini will begin.
They're starting to engage Addy up on that ferret, doing a lot of work, but not able to find any kills so far, as Dio getting another big opener on that Reinhardt. Dandy and Addy have fallen, and that was a very quick first engagement. So now we have time, 30 seconds left on the clock. They're going to get their spawns back up here. They'll be ready to go. They will get that second push in.
Noah has been absolutely pivotal in basically nullifying a lot of the healing and a lot of the potential, well, exactly, a lot of the healing and a fair chunk of the damage as well. And Addy will get rid of our stakes. So that is one defender dropped out of the fight. We're down to 10 seconds. Now it is up to the side of Exto to get more frags, but they're not falling on the side of Twisted Vision. And just as I say that, they do indeed topple. Shiro and Dio will be put back on the respawn timer. And now it is up to Exto to not leave the point. They've gotten 1/3, and now the side of Twisted Vision are in no position to contest. And that is at least one more point for the side of Exto Gaming. But overtime stays on. They got no extra time for a point capture in this particular instance, and the side of Exo will have to stick to this payload like glue, or it's going to be game over.
On very passive right now is what the defense from Twisted Vision is. That means that they have a lot of space to move this cart fairly freely. Now the aggression has started to come, or they're starting to take more of that space. Brigitte ult is going to come up, rallying the troops. This is trying to aggress right up into this, but the Graviton is so good. Both Gravitons coming out. Just draining though, not able to find anything with that rocket barrage. In fact, it'll just be Addy falling. Shiro's going to trade it back with the res coming out now. This is still looking solid for Exto so far. Joyboy doing work. Dandy getting a couple as well.
And goodness me, that is a team wipe. Sound the bell. And this payload will show no signs of slowing down, and with the tanks keeping the payload safe. And now the fair few of the squishes are moving a little bit further forward, really wanting to keep everybody in arms. Like Addy is really far forward, being the far and raining a ton of justice down from above. And the side of Twisted Vision have deemed it unsafe to even contest. That'll be another point in the board for Exto Gaming, and this payload will move completely uncontested. And now the duo of Xiaobao and Addy will continue to keep the members of Exto in the fight.
And let's not forget the stakes here, that if Twisted Vision lose this map, they're done, they're out. There's everything to play for. They can't give up much more space. They don't want it to go all the way. Addy though, the big pick on the Shiro, and now Dio falling. That's again so much great damage in from Exto. They found a lot of these kills so nicely in this cart. It's still moving. This is all overtime. We're starting to find a few more picks here. And really feels like they're not going to be stopped here, Cyber Waste. They're going to cap all the way through. Right there, down to the wire. Dandy, though, he gets 3! How does he find 3 like that? The Doomfist doing so much work. Add in a 4th. And that should be all she wrote there. Capped all the way through, Cyber. With the team kill to end it out.
Wow, it was a Herculean effort. A literal death squad ended up forming directly on the payload, and Twisted Vision had no answer there. And it was so intense, as a matter of fact, my rig is starting to sweat. I'm getting a little bit of a rub off from Nectar, hopefully not. But now it is up to the side of Twisted Vision to try to answer it. Their tournament life depends on this next attack.
And at the end of the day, the winner of this series get a date with Pixel in our grand finals tomorrow. That will be a game casted by, assuming he's not completely murdered by a hurricane, Tugboat and you instead of Dreamboat. It's a Tugboat. It's a fun date.
Is a caster with a bit more pull, I guess. And now we have 1 minute. 1 minute and 20. It's a play on his name, Dreamboat. Don't take it to heart.
I know, that's still rude. Saying that I don't have pull? Sad. You're hurting my feelings here. And I'm gonna cry. And you know what else will be crying? Twisted Vision will be crying if they don't manage to pull this one out, because that means that they are in fact done. We will find out now. They have a minute 22 to work with on the clock, trying to get in, trying to get fourth, starting to brawl things out on this point. Looking around, looking what they can find, but Addy doing so much work up on that Pharah. Raining in death, raining in rockets.
There in the tandem actually ejected Vera from their mech, so things are going from bad to worse. Theo does get a reply to Joyboy though, so that is one Reinhardt looking to be the superior one, but this skirmish is still being ground out on the side of Twisted Vision, and now the call might be on for Exsto to actually retreat with Pliz going down. The Resurrect does come in, so they're looking to actually contest. The barrage causes Vero to be ejected, but the feed is looking a lot more blue than Exto would have liked. So now with everything done and dusted, it took a little bit more time, but the point will fall. And now it is the exact same as it was before last verse. Same as the first. Twisted Vision, that payload is yours. Protect it with your life, or your tournament life will die with it.
There are tall tasks in this game, Cyber Waste. This is like, I don't even, this is taller than like the Empire State Building. This is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. They just need to push it all the way through. And now the first wall of defenses up here. Reptile are going to be coming in as well. What can it find? It's going to find Dio. Big pick. But the Graviton's coming in there. Earthshatter's coming down as well. They need to find some of these picks here. And they need to stay on that cart. Lexus planted firmly on top of it. Ashiras find the next kill. They're looking for a few more. They need something. People are all around that cart, but the Graviton coming in the other way. 3 players caught up in this one. They get cleaned up. This could be it. There's so many kills coming in here. It will be. It's just Theo right now. He needs to get on the point, and he can't do it. Exsto Gaming, they have upset Twisted Vision and booked a date with Pixel in our grand finals tomorrow.
And you could not have painted a better picture of a team improving from one end to the other. Exo, looking to be a completely untested commodity, had come out swinging quite literally. Although Dio did get the play of the game here, he was a phenomenal Reinhardt. The side of Twisted Vision were a phenomenal team from start to finish. Commiserations to them. They gave their all throughout their entire season. But Exo will be the ones punching their ticket to meet the frontrunners, Pixel Gaming, tomorrow night. And now with that out of the way, Dreamboat. We know that the side of Exto have gone from strength to strength and are now at full power. Who would be your MVP?
I'm gonna give a couple quick shout outs to a couple players on Twisted Vision that actually really impressed me. Dio played his heart out on that last map. He had some absolutely massive like solo holds as Reinhardt, and I just feel like on the losing side, he deserves a shout out.
Oh,
And I was also
definitely.
really impressed by some of the plays of Nora just doing a great job. Like she did a really good job with some of her anti nades. They were the difference maker in some fights, but you can't be MVP if you lose. And I'm sorry, neither of them were MVPs. I'll give a quick shout out to Dandy. He came in as a sub. He did a lot of work, but I think it has to go to either Pliss, who was an absolute monster on that Zarya, or Addy doing all kinds of work as well. Two players that just absolutely stomped for their team. And because I've been giving it to DPS a lot lately, I'm actually going to give it to Pliss, doing a ton of work on that Zarya.
Yeah, you'd be quite hard pressed to be told otherwise. And I know you were showing off DPS, but I would definitely say Addy would be an MVP, if only because he was a spearhead in the final effort and got the parting frags on the side of Twisted Vision and was the person to put the stamp onto the contract, sign it, and say, Pixel, we'll see you tomorrow. And that is exactly what we'll do. And now, Dreamboat, this will be the last time we will be casting together for the Rise Up Invitational. Do you have any parting words?
I mean, I've got a few things I want to say. Like, I want to give a massive shout out to everyone involved with Rise Up. Um, it was well run, it was smooth, it was super fun to be a part of, super well organized. Like I didn't have any issues with anything. Everything was super clear. If I ever had any problems, I had an answer almost instantly. Of course, I do need to give a shout out to the fact that I got to cast with two of my favorite people in all of Overwatch casting, which is of course yourself, but also our good friend GL Phoenix, who's not wasn't able to be with us tonight. Um, and really just a thank you to everyone out there who tuned in, who gave, me someone like who put up with some of my terrible jokes, even the ones that I made tonight, and just made it a really great experience. So thank you, everyone.
Oh, Dreamboat, you're a sweetheart. Thank you. I bet everybody on the staff of AOE Sports and the Rise Up Invitational would greatly appreciate words like that. And yeah, sadly, it's going to come to an end for you at the casting desk. And I will be back tomorrow night with Tugboat, and we will be casting the finals between Pixel and Exto Gaming. But that will be the end of that. My name has been Justin, aka Cyber Waste. My co-caster has been Dreamboats. My producer has been Evan. My rig is sweating like you wouldn't believe. But that'll be all from us tonight. Good night, happy fragging, and be the best hero you can be.
Drive safe.